My name is Ernest from Joy News, Ernest Medu. I would like to start with, how many questions can we ask, by the way?
One, please, for now.
Thank you.
If there's time, we'll go back.
I would like to start with the issue of boundaries. The minister did mention that the Lands Commission, working, of course, with the Lands Ministry, is working on the Ghana-Togo boundaries. But I would want to ask about what has been done, as far as the other boundaries are concerned. Joy News did a series called Porous Borders. We realized that from what the people told us, and we're talking about boundaries on either sides of the country. It is difficult for them to know exactly where the demarcations are. They are using very old ways of identifying where the demarcations are. Their forefathers put roads somewhere which they cannot find, creating problems with our neighbors. I'd want to know how the ministry is tackling this issue generally, so that our borders can be safe for us. Thank you.
I want to find out from the minister whether or not Ghana has won the Galamsey War. Because the environment is so dear to my heart. I would have loved to ask some questions, because we have restricted to one question for now. Do that. Because we don't hear of Operation Vanguard and all that. And this is true. This is a policy that the government embarked on, and in fact, it touched the heart and mind of every Ghanaian. So, we want to know the latest or the status of the Galamsey situation, because we need to save our environment.
Thank you very much. My name is Timothy Ngem from the Daily Graphic. If I said one question, but mine is just a quick update on some of the initiatives.
We are not taking presentation from you. We're taking questions.
No, yes, so just a quick maybe time.
Your question, please.
Okay, so I want to find out the technical financial audits that is being done on some mining companies. How many of those companies have been audited so far, and how many are left? Then quickly on the timelines on some of the initiatives you mentioned. The Ghana Artisanal Small Scale Mining Program, the Community Mining Program. When exactly are you kickstarting this? Then the mine guards. We know that the Minerals Commission trained some 220 mine guards, and appointed them, gave them appointment letters around April thereabout. I want to find out if they have been deployed, and if not yet, why haven't they been deployed yet? Thank you very much.
My name is Samuel Adoba, TV Africa. Mr. Minister, I would like to ask my question in Chi from TV Africa. The person me bisa say Minister ne kasa no or can be war say ecotourism. Na me person me bisa say Achimota Forest previous government no also kasa ko be ecotourism. Na about we suba na share da hot say. I say.
Okay. Ebajo FM Boku Samo Mifri Kingdom FM. Mifri Kingdom FM. Honorable Mebacho, the question here, Rosewood in Sensemon Kakra. In Forestry Commission, can say Rosewood be on Mechibiano, on Meshano. They say ministry news, so Dienamo, Adrian found. In say Rosewood importation, exportation is also no. Ghana is likely to be facing ban in the world market, and so, and also at the same. And Dr. Apak on Rosewood now, on the social say. You say embra be hold my brass and my in Trancoton. But a man for Gusuye, to Gidi say, committee a masseti upon, and composition because in Brandon Crano, a man for Busuna committee is my dear because he's saying, but I say.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Arthur Mensah from Ghana News Agency. Honorable, when the Minister of Information came to introduce the issues, he mentioned National Cathedral. I did not hear anything about it. If you update us on it. Then the issue of Rosewood. There has been some seizure at the port, and we also heard about Helena One issue. Please, can you update us on what has happened to the seized Rosewood and
that question was just asked.
Which one?
The update on what happens to the seized Rosewood. So just save us time by going on to which other question.
Okay, so you answered the cathedral one. Then the employment of over 24,000 in the mining sector. If you can break it down, how many are in the large-scale mining? How many are in the small-scale mining sector? And then the areas that they were employed. if you can give us details.
Hello, thank you very much. My name is Joshua Nana Kwame Ayera. I'm with GH1 TV. Honorable Minister, I have a question. I'm sure the Rosewood question has already been exhausted, but my question will be on Galamsey. Quite recently, I did a documentary from Modaso, a community in Dintra, Upper East Dintra, and the young folks there, the youth, particularly beyond or below 17 years, are engaged in Galamsey, vigorously engaged in Galamsey. They've abandoned their homes, families, and school, and parents are allowing them to do so because they believe that most of their farms have been taken away from them and they don't really have enough resources to take care of them, and so making employment quite difficult for them. I just want to understand what is the status now on Galamsey, and particularly having the youth being part of it, and girls, even with children, being part of it. And just a clarification, if there was a recent report that some Rosewood seized were going to be burnt, we just want a clarification if it is true.
Let me start from Accra before I end up at Takwa and Prestia. With respect to National Cathedral, the land is ready for construction to take effect. Those of us who care after here, you may walk through and you see that most of the structures over there have been demolished. The debris are being carried away from that particular site. So we'll soon start the construction at that end. Seized Rosewood. The ministry is not aware. When I say the ministry, I mean the ministry proper, the Forestry Commission in this circumstance, is not aware of the statement that Rosewood seized will be burnt. And indeed, the seized Rosewood will not be burnt. We'll use it for a different purpose instead of burning it. Employment in the mining sector. For now, if we are talking of employment in the mining sector, we are dealing largely with the large scale and not the small scale. From the speech delivered, I alluded to the fact that we have employed so much, and that is with particular reference to the large scale companies. Data on the small scale companies will be assessed later and same will be made known to you. Status of the Galamsey as to whether we have been successful or otherwise, total eradication or not. The answer is that we have achieved about 85% success. There are a handful of people around who are still bent on doing Galamsey. And such difficult persons, such adamant ones, are the ones that the law now caters for in terms of punishment regime. If we are totally successful, there wouldn't have been the need to amend the laws at all. We have amended the law to make it unattractive for people to do illegal mining. Now, on Boundaries Commission, the boundary between Ghana and Togo was well established and delineated way back 1929, and that was by a pillar and not by a metal pole, by a pillar, a concrete pillar, which is still there. Now, the boundaries that we are talking of, we are tracing same from land to the sea. And on or in the sea, is where the problem is. The Togolese think that they can come into our waters and claim ownership of same and seek to put the boundaries at a different end. But tracing it properly from where the pillar is since 1929, which both sides have observed, none had ever trespassed. It is only this time that the Togolese are seeking to trespass. Recently, there was a meeting to that effect in Ghana here where they came. We sat down with them. We could not conclude on that. We are still talking. If it fails, of which I'm not praying for, then we may go before the international court as we did with our brothers at Cote d'Ivoire. And we know that we are going to be very successful because history in this circumstance cannot be robbed. Again, dealing with technical and financial auditing. The Ghana Manganese Company has gone through this process, and a committee was also tasked, made up of both sides, government side and that of the Ghana Manganese, to review the findings of ISH, which I believe has been done, and the document is yet to be documented in whole for same to be put before the minister and other stakeholders to go through it. Mine guards. 220 mine guards indeed were trained, and they have been deployed to various 8 towns and villages where mining activities is being carried out. We are yet to add up the number to 500 plus or to 600. There were hitches, but they've been cleared now. And we believe shortly we'll train that number in addition to have about 600. Ecotourism in respect of Achimota Forest is being dealt with. In fact, part of the land belongs to Achimota School, of which the school has taken over, and there are other interests being considered. There is a judgment on a percentage of that land, which is also being considered for the original owners to take that particular percentage. All this is being dealt with. Then Rosewood versus my brother, Dr. Apak. The committee is going to be very successful in its deliberation, I believe. Dr. Apak is the MP for Bolsa South, and it is his constituency that was recently alleged hosting about 20 articulated trucks of Rosewood. And at the day that the ban was put on harvesting, transporting, and exporting of rosewood, I did indicate that it behoves all Ghanaians, all stakeholders, chiefs and politicians to assist in this direction, bringing this canker to its whole. And Dr. Apak is one of the eminent politicians in the country, representing a particular constituency, the Bolsa South, where it was alleged, or it is being alleged, that most of the rosewood is coming from. So we need his assistance. He should help us to halt the harvesting and transporting and exportation of rosewood. My friend from Delhi Searchlight, I think your question has been answered as to whether Galamsey battle has been won or not. If you write an exam and you get 85%, that is excellent. That is an A. And for that matter, you can compare yourself to any other person that sat to write the paper. I must admit that there are some miscreants on the ground who seek to go out to malign the ministry, the Forestry Commission, and the Minerals Commission with fake documents purporting to have gotten them from us, and they do illegal mining. I must also admit that there are some security officers who have been taken onto the ground to assist us in combating this canker, but they end up doing otherwise. I must also admit that there are some landlords, some chiefs, who are complicit in this particular canker, and therefore making it very difficult for us to have 100% eradication. We are still battling. Those of us who think that they can go back to the field to work in this circumstance illegally, the law is around, and when the law gets you, you'll be dealt with. My brothers who came to speak Twi, Rosewood yet to me actually no. And ya de say ye ba behye no. Na ye be ma Rosewood ayache no ye de agu ho. E dua no ho eden pa ensei. Ti ye de gu ho no ma na ye hunu say ye betimi de aye bibi foforo wo man mu ha ye de beyo amana yeye. Ewo ho a ebi a emre bi beba na tambo ba ye de atoso no na yeyi a aban be kire na dwen yenton ma China fo ne nya sika mfanto ye futu ye betimi aye ne sa amana yeye. Na nia obusa bibi afa ecotourism eye achimota kwaye no a ewo ho no mimu ya ye ne se achimota school na nkasa asase ne fa baabi eye omodia nti aban ejai ede ama wo ena individuals bi nso akokot ewo kwaye no ho baabi se efiri tetezete no na eho wo ena aban ede ne nsa eto so efana aka na ewo ho sisia no aban enyi omo chefa ewum emfama wo eno nso yegu so a ye eno ho adwuma eno titiru enti na eho ecotourism no yentimi enka eho asem enwie ye no madam was
Stacey for the Washington Post. So I wanted to hear an update on the Itiwa forest mining, in particular if any of this opposition that's been like from international and local bodies is having any effect on plans for mining.
My name is Mamie Jiwa from The Independent. I'm happy about the progress made on the war against Galamsey. I come from the Atiwa area, Atiwa West, and my area we still have issues with reclamation. And then, as at now I'm talking, Achuma Renare, they are my grandmother there. They are facing challenges with potable water because of restoration of the stream, the main stream that they were using. It's called Abresu. So what is going to be done about it, and then the reclamation issue? Thank you.
Once again, Honourable Minister, there's a complaint by Forestry Commission that the forestry guards are not too many to tackle the illegal lumbering in the system. What efforts are you making as it were to tackle that issue? Because they were supposed to be armed. I don't know whether you're going to do that for them. If not, how are you going to make sure that they get a lot of forestry guards to arrest the situation? And with respect to reclamation that I already alluded to, recently there was a news item where a few, I don't know whether they are supposed to be miners or fell into a pit and they were all died. And there was a plan by the government to do proper reclamation and then fill all the pits in the country. What has gone on so far with that situation? Thank you very much.
Okay, let me Timothy again. One of my questions wasn't answered. It had to do with the timelines for the implementation of the community mining project and the Ghana Artisanal Small-Scale Mining Program too. Then quickly, since we are dealing with the mining sector, there is a lot of encroachment in the quarry sector. What is the ministry doing to curb the situation? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Minister, it's a follow-up to the issue of burning of seized rosewood. The issue of burning seized rosewood came from the Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, and you, the sector minister, also telling us that we won't burn the so I am at a loss as to what consultation went on and why the contradiction. So, whose response should we take, the boss?
Thank you very much. On the rosewood, my question is, last week the minister was on a tour at Tema, and the deputy minister, beg your pardon, Honorable Benito, and he dared the EIA to come out with their evidence, if they have one, as far as the claims they've made on the government and all officials they claim are involved in the smuggling of rosewood. I find that a little curious, and I want to ask, will the committee headed by the deputy minister invite the EIA at all? Will they be part of this investigative work? Because if they will, I don't know why he went ahead to make those comments, if indeed they will be invited to present evidence as part of the work they're doing. And then my question on the borders was not quite answered. We have a security issue at hand, which is sub-regional, and the issue about Togo-Ghana border, that is fine, it's been cleared with, but there's a general issue of our borders on either sides. And I want to find out clearly what the Lands Ministry, probably with the Lands Commission, in collaboration with the other security agencies, are doing to make sure that there's a clear demarcation of our boundaries. Thank you.
Two questions with reference to Atiwa Forest. The answer is this. Atiwa Forest, we know that in Greater Accra here, that is where all water that we drink take its source from. And in that direction, it gives water to Kibi, Achem area and all that. We have done some pilots work to the extent that the forest at Atiwa will not be destroyed in terms of mining. We have done some exercise to the effect that we will sustain the forest at Atiwa. The water bodies at Atiwa will not be destroyed. There are some experts that have been trained in Australia to come down here to assist us do the mining at Atiwa Forest without throwing out the trees, without destroying the ecology, without destroying the water bodies. That is why we insist on doing mining at that area. Of course, there is that passion that you had lived at Atiwa for long, and you have seen mining activities at other areas where the land has been devastated. And to that effect, if you should raise this issue of devastation, you are not wrong. But because you don't know that we are coming with sustainable system where the trees, the river bodies, and all other natural events at that particular area, catchment area, Atiwa, so to say, will be maintained. This is how you have to go. So my dear lady that spoke about Abresu Nsuo, the effort is to the point that we will maintain all this ecology for you, and we will do the mining for the entire nation to benefit. Then my friend that said his question was not answered, timelines for implementing the MMIP. MMIP is slated to be launched on the 17th. Ceteris Paribus, slated to be launched on the 17th at University of Ghana Great Hall. So after the launch, we move straight away to deal with. We have so far been given some assistance from the World Bank to set up an office, which has been done. And we are waiting for a package again from them to go to the field after we have gone through PPA structures to award contracts to companies, individuals to reclaim the land. My senior Sir John, the CEO of Forestry Commission, I did not hear him. If he said so, then probably it was a mere puff, because he did not intend that statement to be effected. There cannot be anything that could be done at any of the commissions where the minister will stand at the right and then the commission will stand at the left. We work in tandem. So it is not that he had said one thing and I've said another thing. And to that effect, we are being inconsistent. My brother that spoke about the boundaries. Your contention is that you now agree in respect of the 1929 boundary with Togo. You are talking again of other boundaries. Boundary Commission is a statutory body that ought to be established. We are still in the process of establishing this Boundary Commission. There is a small problem that we need to clear, after which the commission will be formally inaugurated to carry out its activities. As we speak now, it is being done by a body that has been constituted, of which the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources is part of. And we are discharging the responsibility as required. The body, the nominations thereof, has been put before the office of the Chief of Staff at the Jubilee House, and same has been forwarded to the Council of State to satisfy all constitutional requirements. From there, it will have to come to the office of the President. He gives his blessings to it, and then we'll move on from that end. So all other issues relating to boundaries that have not been clearly dealt with will be dealt with. But as of now, what is pending is this Togo-Ghana boundary. Yes, reclamation in general is a particular outfit that comes under the functions of MMIP. Yes, and it is that I answered by saying that some part of the package has come for the office to be set up. The office has been set up. We are looking for the launching in general, after which we will assess our package from the World Bank. It is a World Bank funded project. Indeed, A pilot of that particular exercise was done at Chebi, and the commission, the ministry found that aspect to be very successful. And as soon as we get the assistance from World Bank, we will move straight away to other mining areas, including the area you spoke of, to reclaim the soil by filling up all that holes, and then make sure that at the end of the day we plant trees on such lands. Forestry guards. Forestry guards, we have the forestry guards. You know, before one can use any ammunition in the country or any implement relating to ammunitions, you have to seek clearance from the Ministry of Interior. So that is where we have gotten to, and the kind of ammunition that we want them to use. We need to seek all that clearance. And indeed, it will first have to go through the process of coming before Cabinet, and if Cabinet gives its approval, then we may go further to indicate the sort of ammunition that will have to be used. And National Security Council will also have to come in. We cannot go for AK-47 and come and give to forestry guards who will be behaving as soldiers. The next day, they turn the whole country down. It is a very serious matter when you get ammunition and you pass on to third parties. So we are still talking in that respect. It is not only pieces of wood that will have to be guarded at the forest. We will have to protect our wildlife as well. So we will not have forest officers who will use the guns to shoot the animals over there for their own food. Thank you.
Well, I think we have exhausted all the questions that we could ask with regards to the thematic areas that we dealt with today. And I'll thank the entire ministry and all the representatives from the various agencies and departments, and exceptionally thank our media partners who have made it possible. And I have my utmost belief in them that their sacrifice and everything they put together to be here and to put through the necessary questions that were asked today, they will complete it by reporting accurately on their various platforms. Thank you very much for coming.
As I did